So is K1. So am I. He's good. All right, happy Tuesday. Excited to get out there today in pads again, and we'll compete a little bit. They're loaded up today. It'll be a good day.
What was your reaction to yesterday, Coach? Just how things went?
I like the effort. As always, a lot to clean up. First thing I look for is effort. Good effort.
Kyler's kind of critical of the offense, but complimentary of the defense in front seven. Did you kind of see a similar day out there?
Certain plays, yeah. There's back and forth. It's training camp, you know what I mean? So defense makes some plays, offense makes some plays. So he's going to be his worst critic. I'm sure you guys know that, which is good. But it was good back and forth.
What has Baron Browning shown you in camp so far?
Violence in the run game, the ability to win in the pass game, versatility, and getting towards really. No one has mastery of the system besides Nick, but I shouldn't say that the coaches do. But he's functioning at a high level with schematic execution.
Have you done a lot of, because I don't remember, have you done a lot of back-to-back pads days in your training camps, or is this new?
Bingo.
Other plays where Zaven's lining up an inside linebacker. What's the plan for him this season? You go back and forth, or you can stick with him in one?
Play outside linebacker and utilize his versatility.
With the back-to-back pad days, is that what you meant by more friction?
One of the things I meant.
When it comes to Zay Jones, what are you seeing out of him so far?
Yeah, he's launching, he's getting open, he's catching it. He looks good. He looks really good.
How do you feel he can maybe carve out a bigger role?
Yeah, I mean, he can play multiple positions, and he's a big, fast guy. You know what I mean? And he's got really good feel and instincts. He's played a lot of ball. I think he's, just the accumulation of reps with Kyler throughout last year, the spring, the summer, right now. You see it showing up. You know what I mean? So he's doing a good job.
Every position needs confidence, obviously. Does the cornerback and defensive backs, do they need a little bit more of it, given what they go through and how they kind of have to do?
I wouldn't say more of it. I think every position needs it. I need it.
Coach, we're going to hear from Josh Sweat after practice today. What's your take on him so far in camp?
Yeah, he came up to me after the first fast day. He says, "We got some good tackles, huh?" I said, "Yeah, we do." He's doing well. He's got to keep coming along with some of the new wrinkles that we have here. But when he knows what to do, and he's smart. I'm not saying that, but he's still, coming along with some of the different things that we do. But he can set edges and he can rush. I know that.
What do you like about Garrett at outside corner?
Smart, instinctive, and can get the ball.
Bonnie was in here the other day talking about how in year 3 he feels like he has the guys now to do what you guys want to do as a coaching staff. Is that something that you can feel as a coach?
Yeah, I just think it's year 3, and with the acquisition periods of, 3 draft classes, 3 free agency classes, all the other times you can acquire players, barren, before the trade deadline, I guess, because we turn over every stone. So, you don't have just draft and free agency. You do got some other times to do it. I feel like, with the roster is in really good shape right now.
How has Will Johnson kind of adapted to the mental side and all the stuff that you guys ask of your cornerbacks in that regard?
Really, really good.
How did you feel like the defensive backs did with the increase in physicality yesterday?
Good. They were good. They protected their teammates. So there's a lot of times, in practice, I don't want them to make certain decisions for the safety of everybody. So they got to have some wherewithal to make sure that they pull off. Where in a game, it's like, okay, hey, you're going to go through that guy's face or his back or whatever. But in practice, I don't want them doing that. We don't have one guy in the defensive backfield that's scared or a coward or doesn't want to play with his pads. So I feel good about that.
Coach, back-to-back pad days, you think needed more in camp just to get the team ready for the season?
No, I just think where we're at as a team right now, looking back on the last couple years, the first thing is always with me, health, and then development. And I feel like we're ready to do that.
With your cornerbacks room being pretty inexperienced, what's the upside of them being so green, kind of not knowing the other
Yeah,
side?
that's a good question, Josh. I wouldn't say mold is not the right word, but I do say like guys that have played a lot of ball, they have their way of doing things, which is cool. But when you get guys as pups, you can kind of just say this is kind of how we do it, and then fit them in with their own skill set. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't say like just because a guy's played at a high level and done it how he's done it, like. That you might have to break, I don't want to say a bad habit, but you might have to break a couple habits, as it relates to schematic execution or the techniques that you're teaching or coaching or want done. And everybody in this building is growth mindset, so it's not my way or the highway. You guys know that. But when they get here, and they've played ball their whole life, but when they get here, it's like this is just how we do it. You know what I mean? And then here's your couple tools that you can use. But use this one first, and then let's get better at that and evaluate. If it's not working, then we can change. But you can kind of, for better lack of term, mold them how you want them to play.
How different was it evaluating practice yesterday with pads coming on for the first time as opposed to the other training camp practice?
Yeah, a little bit different. Yeah, that's a good question, Donnie. I mean, you get to see, when pads come on, I laugh like, as a coach, kind of say when the pads go on, certain guys start to show up a little bit more, certain guys start to show up a little bit less, certain guys kind of stay right there. That's because it's becoming a little more physical now, which is a huge part of the game, and you want to see them, do what they're coached to do when there's pads on. So it's in my opinion, a better evaluation than with no pads on.
Darius Robinson looks like he's having another good training camp similar to last year. What have you seen from him, and does he look like you expected him to?
Yeah, he's doing well. We're moving him around a little bit. He's another one he's tough on himself, man. But he works to get better every day. He's into his craft like no other, and he's making some plays, and he's also missing some plays too. He'll tell you that. So it's just day by day, get a little bit better. He's very mindful and cognizant. He sets intention every day what he's looking to get better at, whether it's his stance or his first step or his hands or his pad level or his A to B rush or B to A rush or playing 4-eye or 2-eye. He's got it all, but he just kind of picks one or two things a day and gets better at them. And you see him show up, you know what I mean? You really do. So that's cool to see because I know he's getting better.
Do you think the game has slowed down for him a little bit?
Yeah, I think he's getting it to his technique quicker and more consistently. So if that means the game's slowing down, probably, Cam.
Tyler was asked yesterday if he would play in the preseason games. He said, I'll do whatever coach tells me to do. Have you even thought about...
Smart answer by him.
Have you even thought much about starters in preseason games?
Have I talked about it with them?
Yeah, or with you guys?
I haven't talked about it with the players yet. I talked to all the players about everything, but we'll make that decision when we need to.
With second-year guys like Marv or Darius Robinson, is there, Marv talked about having to prove himself, but yet he also mentioned being not feeling maybe as much pressure, just second year being overall better. Is there a mental side of that just going into the second year?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think there's just in generality speaking, so I don't exactly know how he's trying to answer that question. I would say that there's a lot going on for rookies, and there's a lot going on for rookies that are playing a lot of snaps for you. And the more snaps that you play, the more you can learn and grow, and the better off you'll be as a player. So maybe that's what he's feeling.
On Xavier Weaver, he had limited action last year. What would you see out of that, and what's the next step look like for him in this camp?
Yeah, win one-on-ones, at the point of attack. I actually thought that, he needed to win a little bit more yesterday, truthfully. But he can get open, he can catch it. It's going to be when there's color on color, do you make it? That's what I'm looking for him, from him.
you're going through a lot of evaluations right now, particularly at spots like linebacker and corner. How tough is it seeing the guys rotated between the first and the second team and having to kind of take maybe some reps with a grain of salt?
No reps are taken with a grain of salt. I would say, like, we kind of mix and match. I know you see who's the kind of the ones and who's the twos and the threes, but right now everyone's getting equal reps. Every day everyone gets equal reps right now. There's a plan for that. And then, you'll see as we get going here, which we are getting going, but the mixing and matching of groups, the different units playing against different units, I like that. Me covering Josh for a month, is probably going to tap out somewhere. You know what I mean? I'd like to cover you and you, Bo, and you, Don. You know what I mean? You learn from all of that, because it's all different. So I like to kind of mix and match people and who they're going against, who they're playing with, you know what I mean? So there's all kind of a plan for that. And then as it starts to settle down, guys, they're competing for their roles right now, but at some point you got to define roles, and that's kind of what they are.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.